Hello once again, my friends. I'd like to welcome you to another video about Star Trek. Today we're going to go to Star Trek the Motion Picture, and I got a little book to show you guys today. Now, not too long ago I did a Star Trek video for you guys on a book of the history of the Enterprise, NCC-1701 and the NCC-1701-A. But what I got to show you guys today, it's another Hero Collector book. But today, we're going to take a look at the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. This is the illustrated handbook of Captain Picard's Enterprise from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Next Generation Star Trek, the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D illustrated handbook, a detailed guide to Captain Picard's ship from the TV series. More than 200 artworks and technical drawings. You can see the blueprint of the Enterprise. And we can take a look at the back. You can see Star Trek: The Next Generation, NCC-1701-D illustrated handbook by Ben Robinson. This volume is an in-depth illustrated account of the Galaxy-class U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D, showing Captain Picard's Enterprise in detail. It features the ship's operational history, illustrations of key locations including the bridge, main engineering and sickbay, equipment and auxiliary vehicles, plus explanations of the science and technology, with isometric illustrations and technical information from official sources. The book provides an extraordinary reference guide. You can see released in 2019. And the brand new books come in a plastic film or shrink wrap. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to take it over to the desk. We'll be able to check it out in better lighting. All right, so we're ready to open up the packaging, but the Enterprise D, got a little bit of information to tell you guys about. This is from StarTrek.com, the official site. U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D was a Galaxy-class starship and a flagship of the Starfleet. The fifth starship named Enterprise, she was commanded by Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Total of 42 decks, the Enterprise D was twice the length and had 8 times the interior space of the Constitution-class ships. And that comes to, that makes me think of the things that are wrong with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, but that's a whole different video. With a total of 42 decks, the Enterprise D was twice the length and had 8 times the interior space of the Constitution-class ships over a century earlier. She carried a combined crew and passenger load of 1,012. Defensive systems include 10 phaser banks, 250 photon torpedoes, and a high-capacity shield grid. There are some 4,000 power systems in all aboard ship. Full acceleration time from reverse sublight impulse through nominal warp speed. Warp 9 was 0.03 milliseconds. That's pretty quick. The ship achieved maximum speed, warp 9.5 maximum, when pursued by an entity known as Q. At warp 9.3, its engines had passed the red line. By stardate 43205, she had already logged tens of thousands of light years since setting out around stardate 41-1537, after Jean-Luc Picard formally became her first captain at stardate 41-124. An average day aboard the ship, according to Lieutenant Commander data, included 4 birthdays, 2 personal transfers, 2 chess tournaments, secondary school play, 4 promotions, a celebration of a Hindu festival of lights, and the birth of a wedding of some 13 planets were represented among the ship's complement as of stardate 44247. During the Borg incursion of 2366, decks 23 through 25 were sliced open by the enemy, the Borg Cube, during the final battle over Earth and requiring a refit at Earth Station McKinley, which lasted 5 to 6 weeks. It was far less damage than the kamikaze warp-driven collision Commander Riker had readied as one last recourse. However, during that refit, the Starship received a phaser upgrade, as well as damage repair in a dilithium chamber articulation frame. It offloaded the original 3 runabouts, first arriving officers at Deep Space Nine. The U.S.S. Enterprise D was destroyed in 2371 after an attack by renegade Klingon breached her warp core. You guys remember the Lurser and her sister had put that bug in Geordi's visor, and he had seen the frequency of the shields, so when the Klingon bird of prey fired, it was able to just penetrate the shields. Although the saucer section separated before the breach, the force of the explosion caused the section to crash on a planet Viridian 3. Fortunately, losses were minimal. Sadly, the ship herself had to be destroyed. Let's see, can I get just a picture of that? Nope. Well, anyway, that's from StarTrek.com. The information on the Enterprise D, and this is from Hero Collector. Incidentally, let me show you this. It's over here. I had shown you guys this one, also from Hero Collector, and along with the handbook. Actually, I might as well just show that to you too. The Starfleet Star Trek manual. I've gotten a lot of information over the years on different things. This one is relatively new, but I've had this one for a really long time. Very good reference books. Now I'm excited to show you guys Star Trek The Next Generation, the Enterprise D Illustrated Handbook. So let's check this out. Check that out. Alright, let's take a peek inside. You can see phasers, tricorders, replicators, analyze, explain together with auxiliary vehicles. So the series that I had shown you, the 1701, Star Trek Illustrated Handbooks, a series of books that provide in-depth profiles of Star Trek universe, covering a wide range of topics from the individual starships to races such as the Klingons. Each full-color, heavy illustrated reference work is packed with isometric illustrations, artwork, and photographs, and CG renders, and features detailed technical information from official sources. Alright, so let's see what we got first. Let's put this to the side. Look at that, right off the bat. Gorgeous photo of the Enterprise. Wow, that is really nice. Look at all the Aztecing. Wow, this is a spectacular picture. Alright, let's see what we have for the contents. Like I showed you guys the other one, we have the design lineage, construction history, operational history, annotated exterior views, the skeletal structure, coordinate system, saucer separation, the saucer landing, main engineering, master display, warp engines, warp propulsion, warp nacelles, nacelle control room, cool, warp core rejection, impulse engines, RCS thrusters, EPS network, the structural integrity, inertial dampening, main bridge, bridge seating, command seating, navigation console, ops console, security console, mission specific console, main bridge refit, captain's ready room, the observation lounge, turbo lift network, a turbo lift car, a battle bridge, weapons and defense, phaser arrays, photon torpedoes, defensive shield, auto destruct system, phaser range, main deflector, navigational procedures, stellar cartography, computer core, and the LCARS software. Also, we got the ISO linear chips, the PADD, transporter room, transporter systems, pattern enhancers, the Jeffries tubes, the cargo bays, the main shuttle bay, shuttle pod type 15, shuttle type 6, shuttle type 7, the escape pods, the Sphinx work pod, the captain's yacht, the brig, 10 forward, holographic environment, crew quarters, captain quarters, replicators, the sensor systems, sensor maintenance, the main sick bay, the diagnostic biobed, the surgical biobed, medical hypospray, the medical tricorder, the medical kits, the isolation room, long-range communications, subspace relay stations, short-range communications, life support, artificial gravity, that one would be interesting, tractor beams, away team equipment, hand phaser for the 24th century, hand phaser type 1, phaser rifles, the hand phasers from 2366, the hand phasers from 2371, standard tricorder, the Starfleet uniforms, and the index. So this book, man, this really covers just about everything. And we get the acknowledgments, and you guys can check out the different sizes. So we go all the way back to the NX-01, the NX class U.S.S. Enterprise NX-01, service from 2151 to 2161, and that was Captain Arthur Archer's ship. Then we go to the Constitution class Enterprise, the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701 from 2257, the service 2245 to 2285 by Captain Christopher Pike. So again, a lot of it is, there's a lot to explain or wonder about. We go to the Captain Kirk version, Constitution class, NCC-1701 from 2266. Service from 2245 to 2285, 40 years. Captain Christopher Pike and James T. Kirk. And she's just about my personal favorite. Her and the refit, which I consider the same ship. Constitution class Enterprise, this is the NCC-1701-A, and this was service from 2286 to 2293, so it was in 7 years. Captain Spock, James T. Kirk. And again, this was the U.S.S. The Yorktown, excuse me. I think that's NCC-1717. Then we go to the Excelsior class, the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-B, and this was in service from 2293 to 2329, 36 years. Captained by John Harriman. Then we go to another one of my favorite ships, is the Ambassador class U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-C. I think this is my third favorite ship, behind the Enterprise 01, the Enterprise 01-D, and I love this ship. I love the color scheme. I wish we saw more of this. This was in service from 2332 to 2344, captained by Rachel Garrett. Of course, made famous by the episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Yesterday's Enterprise. And they don't put the D, but the D is what this book is all about. You can see some of the construction history. I love this kind of stuff. I hope you guys are having as much geeked out awesomeness as I am, especially when you go through this book. The development of Galaxy-class starships such as the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701 took 2 decades from drawing board to launch, culminated in the production of the most advanced Starfleet vessel ever built at the time. The goal of the Galaxy-class Starship development project began in the early 2340s was to build a new Starfleet flagship from the ground up. The Galaxy-class was designed to be a general deep space exploration vessel, a successor to the aging Oberth and Ambassador-class starships. The new ships were intended to be the pride of Starfleet and the Federation, and the project provided a series of vessels so powerful and state-of-the-art that they set a whole new standard for future starships. To fulfill this belief, the Galaxy-class design history covered a 20-year period of proposals, engineering, research, and construction, culminating in the new Starfleet flagship, the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D, unveiling 2363. And they give a timeline. You can see the bottom, 2343 was the C, the Enterprise C, and then the planning. In 2344, 2345, you can see the Oberth class starship. You can see some of the structuring, the skeleton. It's reminds me a lot like the Build the Enterprise from Eaglemoss that we're working on. 2348, you can see the timeline. The main materials used in construction of the skeletal structure. Let's see. 2350, you can see the addition of the warp core. By 2350, impulse engines are test fit into the Galaxy-class frame. And look at the warp core. It's so fantastic. By 2352, you can see the sections such as the decks that contain the senior officers' private quarters, more than half completed by this stage. (2353) would be, let's see, a problem in obtaining the isolinear chips hinders the installation of one of the 3 main computer cores, but the other systems are completed. You see the addition of the shuttle bays in 2354. Let's see what's in 2356. The new warp coil. They're installed the U.S.S. Enterprise nacelles, and the ship should now be able to achieve warp 8. Alright, let's see. This is 2358. The U.S.S. Enterprise's bridge module is fitted, and the flight test program crew make a final checks. The ship makes its first flight, but it's still a good few years before she is commissioned. And this is 2360. U.S.S. Enterprise. The first tests. The final tests are carried out on the Enterprise. By now, most of the systems and modules have been completed. And this is after 2362. This is Captain Donald Varley of the U.S.S. Yamato. You guys remember we saw the Yamato briefly before it exploded. When we saw her, all the systems were acting up. The lights were going on and off. The Enterprise's sister ship sends his congratulations over subspace radio. His ship and USS Galaxy have already been commissioned at this point. So that's a quick little timeline. Love it. The operational history. Now, I can't go through every page for you guys. I'd love to, but the video will be 12 hours long. The Galaxy-class Enterprise NCC-1701-D was constructed at Utopia Planitia shipyards in orbit around Mars. It was designed to have an operational life up to 100 years, but the ship only managed to serve 8 years before it was destroyed. Love it. Q. This is, I think, from Encounter at Farpoint. The very first mission, the Enterprise encountered an almost omnipotent Q, who puts its crew and all of mankind on trial. You can see the Romulan Warbird. The late 2364, the Enterprise re-established contact with the hostile Romulan Empire, which had not communicated with Starfleet in decades. Show you guys, it's kind of skipped through. I will look at these awesome pictures. The dorsal view. I love these pictures. Look at the Aztecing on it. And look at all the parts and the sections. Currently, those of you that follow my channel, you know we're working on the Eaglemoss Build the Enterprise D. And when that model is complete, we're going to go through the entire model with this book, and we're going to reference every point. So that should be a really fun video. Again, we'll go through all the parts. You guys can pause, check out how amazing these graphics are. I'm going to put it up in high definition, so I hope it comes out where you guys can read them. An absolutely gorgeous ship. Show the head-on view. And we have the rear view. You see some of the physical structuring. Again, we're working on the shell or the skeleton now for the bottom of the primary hull for the Eaglemoss build. Look at that. Some of the external coordinates, the Y, the X, Y, and Z coordinates. Look at that. Standard, the starboard elevation, the plotting locations. Love it. The saucer separation. Now, we had seen it in Encounter at Farpoint, where they reattached, and Captain Picard wanted to test Riker's knowledge of the ship, so what he did was he had Riker do it manually, and of course Commander Riker did it without a flaw. You see him piloting the ship, both sections back together again. You can see the independent operation of how the little connectors, the connecting ports, so the docks. Let's see. This was her end, her final flight, which is sad. The Klingon bird of prey had managed to render her defenses or shields useless, and when it would fire the photon torpedoes, it just went right through and just started destroying everything. So that caused a warp breach in a secondary hull, and they separated and evacuated, but when it exploded, it pushed the saucer section into orbit around the planet, fell into the atmosphere, and ultimately crashed. Let me show you the illustration of the flight of the primary hull. We got main engineering, Geordi's section. You can see the like I say, guys, I want to go through every page, but it's just going to take this is going to be a 13-hour video. We'll go through sections. How's that? We'll do videos on different sections the operating consoles. And each section we'll devote the video to that. Like we could do a section on the warp engines. We can just concentrate on her warp engines, the warp speed, the warp propulsion. We can do that. You can see the warp nacelle with the coils inside. So that would be a good video where we concentrate on one particular area. And you guys may or may not know that the nacelles themselves have control rooms. The warp core rejection, it shows you what will happen during that procedure. The explosive bolts blow away the hatch on the underside of what it was used to hold the antimatter to the ship. And again, that's the warp core. And then you got the impulse engines. Let's see. We have the Starfleet uniforms. You can see the insignias, or the little medals that they have, the little discs. 4 is the captain, 3 is the commander. Lieutenant commander is the equivalent of 2.5. Lieutenant is 2. Junior grade lieutenant is 1.5. Ensign is 1. Warrant officer is 1/2. And a chief petty officer has that insignia. You can see the colors, the color scheme, the command scheme, the operations, and the science. Let's see. We've got the standard tricorder. Hopefully I'll be doing a video for you guys soon. We'll go through the tricorder with this as a reference. Same thing with the phasers. We'll be doing a video on the hand phasers, the operations. We got the phaser rifles, type 1, hand phaser. Again, we'll be doing a video on that soon. Tractor beams, the artificial gravity, life support, communications. Like I said, there's so much to go through. The isolation room, the medical tricorder, medical hypospray, the surgical beds, the bio beds, diagnostics, sensor maintenance, the sensor systems, replications, the captain's quarters. Let's see. Crew quarters, the hologram, the holodeck. We got the brig, the captain's yacht. This will be interesting, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't really know a lot about the captain's yacht. You can see the dorsal entry hatch and the way it looks with the landing gear out. The landing foot, entry engine platform, the impulse engine. Now, I don't ever recall seeing the captain's yacht come out. Do you guys? I don't even think it was in a movie or in Star Trek The Next Generation. I don't really remember it ever seeing it. Self-contained vessel. Maybe it's been out and I'm mistaken, but I don't remember seeing it. Work pods. We got the shuttlecraft, and this could be a nice video specific to the shuttlecrafts. The cargo bays, the Jeffrey tubes. We got the transporter room, the chips. We got the computer core. That'd be an interesting video to do. The cartography, we'd love that. The main deflector dish, that would be a great video to do. Phaser range, the auto-destruct systems. That would be a pretty cool video. Ordnance package. Photon torpedoes, phaser arrays, weapons and defense, turbo lifts. The turbo lift transport system. You can see how it would look horizontally and lay out vertically. It'd be a great video, we could explore the interior of the ship, the observation lounge, captain's ready room. We've got the consoles. This would be really fun. Ops, navigation. This is so cool. Again, I want to go through everything with you guys, but this video will just take forever. So I'm thinking we can do different things. We'll pick a different subject each time, and we'll research it, we'll go into it, and I don't know how much information we'll be able to take from the Starfleet Technical Manual, because this was designed for the Constitution class starships. You would think that a lot of the officer stuff would still be the same, but I don't know. I don't know if there's an updated version of this for the newer Star Treks, like Star Trek The Next Generation. But this would definitely be an amazing book to go through. And what I'm thinking we're going to do is, the first video we can do is I'll do the tricorder. We'll do the Star Trek The Next Generation tricorder, or we'll do the phaser. It'll be one of those devices that we do first in this. So my friends, I hope I gave you a quick little rundown of what is in this fantastic book. This thing is so much fun. And like I said, we're going to reference the Eagle Moss, build the Enterprise D with this. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So, my friends, if you were curious about this book, then I hope this satisfied your curiosity. And until my next video, thank you so much for watching. Live long and prosper.